Welcome to Wednesday evening. Nope, sorry about that. It's Tuesday evening gentle yoga. So, Mary, it looks like it might just be the two of us this evening, but that's okay. Maybe others will join in a little bit late. So, thank you very much for being here. And so, let's go ahead and just come to a comfortable seat. We're going to begin with some alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhana, and then we'll go ahead and just move into a gentle practice together this evening. So come to a comfortable seat. Make sure you are placed so that you feel supported by your legs. I like sitting on a little pillow, but it's very personal how you position yourself for breathing and meditation. And so what's important is that you feel supported with your pelvis firmly planted on the earth so that your sits bones are pressing down on the side, and even the pelvic bone in the front, the tailbone in the back. So those are points of pressure that perhaps you can feel connecting with the earth. And so the pelvis is a perfect bowl. The legs are comfortable, so sitting cross-legged or any other variation, or even sitting in a chair if that is more comfortable. We're going to be here for about 5 minutes probably. And so just noticing how your body feels, bringing your awareness inward, simply setting aside your thoughts and concerns, and know that giving yourself this hour to practice yoga will allow you to step back into your busy and productive life, more calm, more centered, and sometimes answers that we are seeking simply show up when we take a little time to move inward and pay attention to that wisdom that lives inside each and every one of us. So drawing awareness inward, and then again paying attention to your body, and so that you sit up nice and tall so that the spine is long, and simply connect with your physical body, connecting through your body to the earth and to the heavens. So you are the conduit through which wisdom flows. And so sitting upright, strong, lifting all the way up out of the base of the spine, allowing the heart to feel open. One way to manifest that on the physical level is to squeeze the shoulder blades together on the back gently so that the front body opens, so that the chest area physically opens in the front, and then lifting the crown of the head up to the sky. And so just breathing in through the nostrils, allowing softness in the belly as the chest changes shapes, expanding front, back, side to side, up and down, fullness of breath in the body. And then allow the breath to flow out. Chest falls, navel draws back towards spine, emptiness, and then the intention to breathe in again. And so simply inviting your breath to be slower, fuller, without forcing or straining. And so this first technique that we are moving through is Durga pranayama, full yogic breath. And just so exploring this for a few moments, breath flowing in, pausing at the end of the in-breath, exhaling, completely pausing at the end of the out-breath. And so enjoy a few more breaths in this pattern. And so now let's do a few rounds of alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhana. So take the right hand, fold the index and third finger into the palm, bring the hand to the face. We'll use the fourth finger to close off the left nostril, the thumb to close off the right nostril. But to begin, just allow the pads of the fingers to connect with the sides of the nose. And so inhale through both nostrils. Close off the left and exhale through the right. Inhale right. Close it off and exhale left. Inhale left. Close and exhale right. Inhale right. Close, exhale left. Inhale left. Close, exhale right. Inhale right. Close, exhale left. Inhale left. Close, exhale right. Inhale right. Close, exhale left. Inhale left. Close, exhale right. And then bring your hand down to rest on your knee. That was 4 rounds of alternate nostril breathing. So it's a nice way to calm and center if we're feeling anxious or a little agitated. It's also a nice way to bring the energy level up if you're feeling particularly sleepy or tired or lacking motivation. So it's a magical breath. And so let's go ahead and begin our asana practice with some cat-cow. So let's move up onto our hands and knees. Setting the hands beneath the shoulders, maybe a little bit forward from the shoulders, maybe a little bit wider apart. Spread the fingers and press into the backs of each of your fingers, particularly the backs of the knuckles and the pads of the fingers. Knees are hip bone width apart, toes curled under. Let's inhale and sway and exhale and round. And so allow this to be a full body experience. And so all parts of your body are involved, the arms and the legs setting the frame, and then allowing the spine to really lengthen all the way from the base of the spine to the crown of the head, lifting up out of the shoulders with the head, even as you allow the chest to descend down towards the earth on the swaying part of the movement, and then rounding, lifting the waist up to the sky, just lifting, lengthening the back body, letting the head drop down, lifting the shoulders up away from the arms, and then inhale, reversing it, really allowing the chest to descend down and then forward. So the breastbone looks towards the front of the room, lifting through the crown of the head, lifting through the tailbone, exhale and round. And so continue a few more repetitions. Inhale and swaying, exhale and rounding. And so now let's bring that to stillness, just sitting back, buttocks towards the heels. And then let's inhale, raising the arms, and exhale and lower. Inhale and raise, exhale and lower. So you can take any position that you need to take for your legs so that you're comfortable for this variation. And so we're working through the joint freeing series, but we're doing it out of order. And so we'll probably catch most of those movements. It's not a big deal if we leave some out. You're just playing through it, listening to our bodies, and bringing more awareness and breath into the physical body. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and go back to hands and knees. And this time, shift the weight to the left knee, extend the right leg, and point the foot. And so we're going to inhale, lift and lengthen. So we're swaying the back, and then we're going to exhale and round, draw the knee towards the forehead. Inhale, lift and lengthen, exhale and round. So we'll do 6 repetitions. Inhale, lift and lengthen, exhale and round. Lift and lengthen, exhale and round. Lift and lengthen, exhale and round. Inhale, lift and lengthen, exhale and round. And then go ahead and move over to the other side. So toes curled under is a little bit better support. It's a little bit stronger. It's a little safer for your knees. So lifting that back leg, lift, lengthen, exhale and round. Inhale, lift and lengthen, exhale and round. Inhale, lift, lengthen, exhale and round. Lift, lengthen, exhale and round. Lift, lengthen, exhale and round. And then bring that to stillness. Knees are together, lower legs together, feet pressing down if that's okay. Sometimes this position of pressing the feet down can make the toes cramp. If that happens, just curl the toes under, okay? So we're gonna continue with the hips. So stretch the hips as far to the right as they will go, and then back to center, and then take the hips to the left, and then back to center. So continue playing through that movement, remembering that what we're doing is hips, okay? So we want to take the hips through their range of motion, adduction and abduction. So the rest of the body is supporting that. So arms, legs, very strong. Core, very strong. Drawing navel back towards spine. Okay, so everything is supporting abduction and adduction at the hips. Just breathing and noticing. Of course, it is affecting also your low back because all of your pieces, parts are connected. But the movement itself is generated from the hips. And then when you've done the same number on each side, bring that to stillness. And so once again, let's just inhale and sway and exhale and round. Inhale and sway, exhale and round. One more time. Inhale and sway and exhale and round. And then let's go ahead and come down to a seated position on your mat with the legs stretching out in front of you. And we're going to stay with the hips, so flex your feet, really connecting the legs into the hip sockets. You can use your arms to support. We're going to externally rotate the right leg and open at the hip joint, okay? And then internally rotate and close. All right, so it's a complex movement. It's difficult because you're not used to doing this unless you've been practicing your joint freeing exercises. So if you need to drag your leg on the ground to make it happen, that's perfectly fine. The most important part of this series that we're working through is actually taking your joints through their natural range of motion. All right, and then bring that to stillness, and then moving on to the other side. So externally rotate and open the left leg, internally rotate and close. So working on hip joints, inhaling, opening, exhale and close. Inhale and open, exhale and close. Inhale and open, exhale and close. Inhale and open, exhale and close. Bring that to stillness. And now we're going to move down to the knees. So exhale, bend the right knee. Inhale and straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, 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 straighten. And then move on to the other side. Exhale, bending that left knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. 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 Inhale, straighten. And then bring that to stillness. And then moving down to the ankles. So point your feet and then flex. Point and flex. Breathing and noticing, holding your whole body in the best alignment that you can find, that you can discover. I like to use my arms here just to support my spine as I'm working through these ankle exercises. I'm engaging my core so that my back is supported. Just breathing and noticing. And then go ahead and bring that to stillness. Bring the edges of the feet together and spread the toes open. And it is as if we are opening the books of the feet. And then we're exhale, closing the book without breaking the seam. So the edges of the feet stay together, okay? The edges of the feet are the seam of the book. So breathing and noticing, keeping the heels and the inner aspect of the balls of the feet, the metatarsals, keeping those glued together, breathing. And then bring that to stillness, step the feet apart and begin doing big circles. Big circles with the ankles. So the challenge here is to keep the legs still and simply allow the feet to rotate in circles so that it is actually the ankle joint creating the movement. And then go ahead and take it in the other direction. You might notice that if your whole leg moves, all right, all the way from the hips all the way down, it makes it appear like there's a great deal of movement in the ankles, but what you really want to do is keep the legs perfectly still, supporting the feet and the ankles as they themselves, only the feet and ankles do the circles. So bring that to stillness. And so now let's go ahead and come back to a comfortable cross-legged seat, okay? And what we can do is now working through some movements for the spine. So sit up nice and tall. We'll start with lateral stretching. So the idea here, just laterally stretch to the right and then back to center. Laterally stretch your side, stretch to the left, and then back to center. So breathing and noticing. You know, we can involve the arms in this lateral stretch, but again, just like what we were doing with the legs, really focusing on the ankle joints themselves. By not including the arms, we can give more focus to the spine itself. So keep the weight even on both sits bones, so you're not leaning from side to side. The pelvis is stable and pressing down into the earth, and you are really just laterally stretching the vertebrae and all of the muscles that support the spine. And so when you've done the same number on each side, bring that to stillness. And then we can add a twist. So take the left hand to the right knee, right hand behind you, sit up nice and tall. Lift, lengthen, and twist around to the right. And then bring that back to center. And the right hand to left knee, left hand behind you, sitting up nice and tall, lifting, lengthening, and twisting. And then inhale back to center, exhale around to the right. Inhale, center, exhale around to the left. Inhale, center, exhale, right. Inhale, center, exhale, left. Inhale, center, exhale, right. Inhale, center, exhale, left. Inhale, center, exhale, right. Inhale, center, exhale, left. And then bring that to stillness. And then just like we did cat-cow on our hands and knees, we're gonna do that same movement of the spine, but from the seated position. So I like to place my hands on my knees to give myself a little bit of a boundary to move within or towards. And so then I'm gonna sit up, lift, lengthen. I'm tilting my pelvis anteriorly. So I'm tilting it forward. I'm lifting up through the crown of my head and pressing the chest forward and up. And then exhale and round. Inhale, lift and lengthen. So there's not a lot of visible movement when I do this because I'm so tightly wired. I'm just not a very flexible person as far as the way my body is put together. Exhale and round. But from the inside, it feels like big movement, and it feels like big opening in the front body as I lift, lengthen, and sway the back. And then exhale, round. I'm drawing my navel back towards the spine and up, engaging my core, chin to the chest, really opening the back body. Inhale, lift, lengthen, swaying or arching the back. And then exhale and round. And then one more time, inhale, lift and lengthen. And then go ahead and bring that to stillness, neutral. And then come up onto your hands and knees, and we're going to just press ourselves up to standing. So I like to curl my toes under, get a little bit of a stretch here as I press myself all the way back, and heels to the floor, hips to the sky. arms hanging, head hanging, and just noticing how your body feels after sitting for so long, really allowing the legs to lengthen. And then let's go ahead and just roll up the spine, one vertebrae at a time, engaging abdomen, rolling all the way up to standing, and then go ahead and roll your shoulders back. So let's go ahead and move up to the arms. So we did one of the movements for joint freeing already, which is raising the arms up and raising the arms down. So we won't repeat that now. We'll just take the arms out, parallel to the floor, turn the palms up, exhale, bending the elbows, inhale and straighten. Exhale and bend, inhale and straighten. Exhale and bend, inhale and straighten. Exhale and bend, inhale, straighten, exhale, bend, and then bring it right here, inhale and open. So I'm squeezing the shoulder blades together on the back, really reaching my elbows as wide open and back as I can, and then exhale, bring the elbows together, allow the shoulder blades to slide across, inhale, open, exhale, close, inhale, open, exhale, close. Inhale, open, exhale, close, inhale, open, exhale, close. And then bring it right here to goalpost arms. So the elbows are bent, the upper arms are parallel to the earth. Your torso is strong, so you're engaging navel back towards spine, pulling everything in towards midline. And the legs are strong, so you're pressing down into your feet, squeezing shins in, spiraling thighs out. Pelvis is a perfect bowl. And then finally, once you have all of that stability, we are going to slowly rotate the top of the arm and the shoulder joint, and taking the arms down as far as you can without losing the integrity of the pose, and then take the arms back up. So breathe and notice. It doesn't matter how many you do. You can do it slowly, just holding this position, you know, squeezing shoulders in towards each other on the back. That is strengthening, okay? And so then adding the rotational movement is just an added feature in regard to strengthening all of these muscles that are so important in supporting the work that you do all day, every day, lifting, hauling, anything that you do with the upper body, especially with the arms, riding, cooking, everything, driving. All right, and then go ahead and bring the arms down. Feel the warmth in the shoulders and the arms, just kind of rolling them back, rolling them forward, breathing, and then allow that to come to stillness, allowing the arms to relax, allow the shoulders to relax, lengthening from the soles of the feet to the crown of your head. And now we can take the right ear down to the right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, left ear down to the left shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Bring that to stillness, and then turn your head as far to the right as you can without moving anything else, just your head, and then back to center. So exhale, head looking to the left, maybe chin coming in line with that left shoulder. Inhale, back to center. So keeping the whole body stable and still as you move only the head Getting a nice stretch for the neck and all of those important muscles that support the neck and the work that it does. Bring that to center. Take the head back between the shoulders. And then to center, exhale, chin down to the chest. Inhale, center, exhale, back. Inhale, center, exhale, down. Inhale, center, exhale, back. Inhale, center, exhale, down. And then bring that to stillness. And the last stretch for the neck is to take the right ear down to the right shoulder. And then back to center, left ear down to the left shoulder. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Bring that to stillness. Take the arms out in front again and flex the wrists and then extend. So just allow the breath to flow evenly and smoothly. Perhaps one part of the breath with one part of the movement. Or you could inhale as you're moving, exhale as you take it to the full stretch that it will go, and then breathing in and then exhaling as you reach your full extension, taking the fingers down. All right, so really moving those wrists, flexing and extending is the anatomical movement that we're doing. And then bring that to stillness, turn the palms up, and then we're going to supinate and pronate. And so we're going to bring the hands in towards each other and then out, keeping the palms up to the ceiling so that we're really stretching the wrist joint, the inside and the outside of the wrist joint. So these movements are really important. If you do lots of fine motor activity, if you write a lot, keyboard a lot, do art that requires, detail work, then these movements, if you do them frequently and mindfully every day, can relieve or prevent carpal tunnel. So turn the palms down, make fists, and do big circles with your wrists. Breathing and noticing. And then take it in the other direction. All right. So bring that to stillness. I think that was probably all of the movements in the joint freeing series. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to move through as much as I can remember off the top of my head of the foundations of yoga practice. So this is a series of poses that I teach in detail in the manual, the Foundations of Yoga Practice manual, that is posted on our website. If you'd ever like to use that to help you in your yoga practice, it is available on the website for free. So come to mountain pose, and let's just inhale, stretch the arms up over the head. All right, so we're lifting, lengthening, and we're reaching from the soles of the feet all the way through the whole body. Pay attention to the pelvis, not allowing it to sway, but hold it neutral. And then you can lift and lengthen And then we're gonna exhale, open stretch to the right and half moon. Inhale as you're there. And then exhale, allow yourself to move deeper into the pose, maybe just a millimeter, but you're really pressing into the soles of the feet, left hip to the left, reaching, reaching, reaching to the right. And then inhale back to center. Lift and lengthen, reinforce the posture, pressing into the soles of the feet, shins in, pelvis is a perfect bowl, buttocks engaged to keep the spine neutral, and then exhale to the left. So the right hip moves off to the right, open stretching to the left, lengthening with the arms all the way from the shoulder blades to the palms and the tips of the fingers. Breathe and notice. And then inhale back to center. And then go ahead and bring the arms down. Bring the hands to the heart. So we can do a little exploration of Tadasana, mountain pose. And so what we're going to do, you can turn the palms facing back or the palms to your side, either way. But we're going to inhale, lift the heels, engage the core, and breathe yourself up onto the balls of your feet. And then exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. So let's go ahead and bring that to stillness. And now we can play through chair pose. So set your feet in line with your hip bones, and then we want to track, so our hip bones, knees, and our toes are all pointing out in the same direction. So just bend the knees and sit as deeply as you can, keeping your spine upright. Okay, so as if you're sitting against a hard back chair, draw navel back towards spine, and then just raise the arms to shoulder level. And we're going to stay here for a few breaths. So in the foundations of yoga practice, what I do is I have chosen a set of poses that I believe help to build strength. It focuses on alignment, and these are basic poses that will help you throughout your yoga career. They're foundational. So you'll find a lot of these movements in many, many other poses that we do. So this is the most basic chair pose. There's a lot of other stuff we could do from this, but we're just going to do this much with it tonight. This is a very safe place to hold the pose. And by holding this pose, you build a lot of strength through the whole body and through the core. So simply breathe, notice sensation. I can feel my quadriceps beginning to scream. So just breathe into it. And then go ahead and straighten the legs, and then just walk them out a little bit, just noticing. All right, so from here, we're going to move into a forward bend. So let's place the hands on the hips. You can soften the knees. I'll turn this way just so that you can see that I am going to hinge from my hips. Okay, so I'm not bending from the waist. I'm hinging from the hips. My knees are bent a little bit. It gives me a little bit more room, okay, in my hips and pelvis so that I can fold over, hinging, but keeping my spine neutral, just as if I were standing in Tadasana. So pelvis, heart, and head in one line. And I'm engaging my abdominal muscles, and I'm lengthening out from the base of the spine to the crown of my head, just holding it here, okay? Building strength and stability, and it's from this foundation of strength and stability that we become more flexible. They go together. And then continue to hinge more deeply. You can bend the knees a little bit more, so maybe your belly is even resting on your thighs. And then just let your whole spine round over so that the head is hanging heavy. The arms are dangling. You can check your foot position here so that the feet are square forward. They're not turned out, they're not turned in, okay? So just breathe and notice. Head hangs. Notice sensation in the low back and in the hips. And then finally, you can work on straightening the legs a little bit more if you want to. So you're really pressing the hip bones up to the sky, okay? Pressing the tops of the leg bones, okay, up to the sky. But notice if you can tuck the tailbone between the legs. So that's a nuance, but it's worth inviting that intentionality because it really helps to fire up all the muscles that are important for your low back, your hips, your legs, all right? So from here, let's set the hands on the hips, and you can soften your knees a little bit, bend the knees a little bit if you need to, because what I want you to do next is reach out back to that neutral spine. So the torso is parallel to the floor. You can squeeze, so I like putting my hands on my hips and then squeezing my shoulder blades together on the back and lifting my elbows. That helps prevent my upper back from rounding, okay? I don't want my back to be rounded here. I want it to be neutral. And I'm breathing, and then on an exhalation, go ahead and come all the way up to standing. And then roll the shoulders back. Roll the shoulders forward. All right. So next, we're gonna play with a couple of open hip positions. So take the feet, just step the feet as wide apart as they will comfortably go for your warrior two pose. So outside of the feet are square forward to begin, hands on your hips, and just get a sense of the strength and alignment through the legs, pressing feet into the earth. Even here, you can press shins in towards each other, so it's energetic, okay, but it helps to fire up the muscles in the legs. And then engage the buttocks so that the pelvis is a perfect bowl. The tendency when you take the legs apart is to get a little relaxed through the pelvis, okay, and to sway the back, but that's not a position of strength or stability. You want the pelvis to remain neutral. So hands on your hip, and then finding the turnout, we pivot on the ball of the right foot and bring the heel so that it's in line with the instep of the other foot. That sets the alignment, okay, for this asymmetrical position. This leg is an external rotation, and then to help accommodate that, you can internally rotate this hip a little bit by taking the toes in. Okay, so the toes of this foot are turned in a little bit, and that takes the leg into an internal rotation, and then bend the front knee. Okay, so this is the front leg, this is the back leg. All right, so playing here, important to keep the pelvis neutral, so you keep the buttocks engaged. And then there's a movement, you know, that wants to happen. Like, you know, we want to follow this knee around, except for that it's not the most stable way to do the pose, because we lose consciousness and integrity back here when we do that. Okay, so if you think of keeping the torso centered toward the long edge of the mat. Okay, so from here up, we're still in mountain pose, Tadasana. Remember that in yoga, part of the foundation is remembering Tadasana. It's the basic archetype for all of the poses, finding mountain in every pose. So now as we hang out in this open leg position, the body's like, oh yeah, I know this. I've done this before. It starts to feel a little bit safer, okay? And then when the body feels safer, the muscles are more apt or able to lengthen, okay? So here we are, and then to finish off setting ourselves in this pose, Virabhadrasana 2 or Warrior 2, we float our arms out to shoulder level, and then we turn our gaze or dristi towards the fingers of the right hand. And so breathe and notice. So really pressing down with your feet, okay, engaging, connecting with the earth, but lifting up out of that. So think of tracking the right heel towards the left instep, okay, that fires up your muscles. And then engaging the buttocks, so the pelvis is still a perfect bowl, hips are opening, you're breathing. And then turn the gaze forward, turn the foot forward. So here we are in 5-pointed star. Now, if you need to bring your hands to your hips to take a little rest, that's fine. In fact, let's all do that. So just bring your hands to your hips, and then we can gradually move into the pose on the other side. So pivoting on the ball of the left foot, bringing the left heel in line with the right instep, right hip turns in a little bit, bend that left knee. And so for some people, the angle of this front foot will only be about 45 degrees if that's how much opening you are capable of in this hip joint, okay? Other people can easily take the foot to a full 90 degrees, but what's important is the landmark. So hip bone, knee, and toes all moving off in the same direction. Okay, so you don't want this knee to be rotating in. That would be very dangerous for your knee. You don't want it to be rotating out. You want it to be in alignment. So breathe and notice, just settling into this basic form. A lot of other poses derive from this basic form. Engage your core, float the arms out to letter T, and turn your gaze to look over those left fingers. Breathe, pressing down into your feet, connecting with the energy of the earth. Left heel tracks towards right instep. Engaging core, so drawing navel back towards spine. Remember the connection between the pubic bone and the front ribs. So keep that line connected. That helps to keep the spine neutral. And breathe. And then go ahead and release, straighten the leg. And then walk together, heels, toes, heels, toes, heels, toes. Nice deep breath. And then just relax. So the next pose that we're going to do is triangle pose. This variation of triangle is very basic, but it's a wonderful way to begin a practice of triangle. So we're going to all go back to the very beginning when we were very first learning yoga with me. Not everybody teaches triangle in this way, but I think it's a good way to approach it. So let's step the feet apart. Again, so all of those things we talked about earlier still hold true. So Pressing the shins in towards each other helps to activate the muscles in the legs. Pelvis is a perfect bowl. So engage the buttocks so that the pelvis is not tilted forward or back. And then we're going to turn this right foot out to 90 degrees, if that feels okay for you. And this foot can turn in a little bit, so this hip is internally rotated again, just like before. In this variation, we're going to keep our legs straight. And what we're going to do is just take this right arm out, and we're going to go ahead and turn our gaze towards the right arm. Left hand is on the left pelvis. So thumbs to the back of the pelvic bone, fingers reaching around to the front. It helps you to know where you are in space, okay? Because we don't want this to come forward, okay? We want this to stay neutral. And the hand on the hip helps to ground that. So what we're gonna do next, the legs stay straight. We're just gonna reach to the right. So this is a very intense lateral stretch, all the way from that back heel, okay, through the hip, strengthening there. Lots of connection from this hip bone to the right foot. And then this is stretching, a nice side body stretch. This is compressing, okay, reaching, and then come back to center. Okay, so reach, and then back to center. And then one more time, reach. So sometimes we practice this with a block, but tonight we are not, okay? We're just going very basic. Just place this hand on the outside of the thigh for support, okay? And then just take this arm up. All right, so we're gonna make a letter T with our arm. So just breathe and notice, and you can see the different triangle shapes in this form. So breathe and notice, creating lots of opening through here. And then go ahead and come back to center, square that foot. Nice deep breath. So turn the left foot out, right foot turns in a little bit. With that left arm, reach. And then inhale back to center. And then exhale, reach. And then inhale back to center. And then inhale, reach. And then let's go ahead and take the left hand down to the leg, not putting any pressure at all on the knee. It's better to place the hand a little bit higher or lower, but I don't want you to collapse it down. I want you to keep it open, and then take that right arm up and breathe. So the head can turn up towards the fingers, or it can stay neutral. If you have trouble finding where your head's supposed to be in a pose, just tuck the chin to the chest, and that'll bring the head into a neutral alignment, and then you can just lift it. Okay. You can turn it, turning your gaze up if you want. And then go ahead and come back to center. Square the foot forward, hinge again at the hips. And then walk together, heels, toes. Forward fold. And then what we're gonna do is just go ahead. You can bend your knees. You can lift your heels as you bend your knees, just squatting down, and then just go ahead and sit. And our time is just so quickly running out. So let's just come to a seated position. When you're practicing, it's good to transition from standing to lying through a seated pose. Okay, so let's just come seated, legs extended, bend that right knee up to your chest. We're going to do a little spinal twist. So hold on to the right leg with the left hand, take the right arm out in front, inhale, and just turn your gaze behind you, allow your hand to follow, and then set your hand down behind you. And then you're flexing with that left foot. Sits bones are even, okay, bending, twisting from the level of the waist, looking behind you and breathing. And then go ahead and release. Come all the way around. And then bend the left knee, sitting up nice and tall. Flex the right foot. And then hold on to the left leg with the right arm, left arm out in front. Lift, lengthen, twisting from the level of the waist. Look behind you, okay? So allow the hand to follow the gaze, and then set the hand down behind you. Flexing with that right foot, that helps to pull you more deeply into the twist. Sits bones are even, twisting from the level of the waist. Breathing, lifting, lengthening, twisting. And then go ahead and release. Extend that left leg. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and lie down onto our backs. And so take a moment, setting yourself down evenly and comfortably. And then let's take the feet as wide apart as the mat. And then for a final back release, just take the knees down to the right. So the feet turn on their sides. The knees descend down towards the earth. That left hip lifts up a little bit. It's all fine. This may be all that you want to do, okay? If this feels like enough of a release, just stay here. You can turn your head to the left, okay? Opposite from the knees. If you want a little bit more oomph, then you can take that right ankle onto the left thigh. Breathe and notice. Breathe and release tension or tightness, allowing the whole body to descend down towards the earth. And then go ahead and release when you're ready. Right foot comes back to the mat. Knees come back to center. And then go ahead and take it down to the other side. So whichever side you did not do yet, take the knees down and breathe. So the feet turn on their sides, knees drop down towards earth. You can take the feet as far apart as they need to go or as close together so that it feels comfortable, okay? And then turn your head opposite from the knees. And then if you want a little bit additional stretch, then you can take the ankle to the top of the opposite thigh. So just breathe and notice, allowing your whole body to begin to let go. So breathe and release. All right, and then bring the head to center, release the ankle from the thigh, bring the knees back to center, and then just release one leg out onto the earth, and then the other leg. Take the arms out from the torso ever so slightly with the palms open to the ceiling. Notice how your body feels and make any little adjustments you need to make so that you feel like you are even from side to side, okay? And that you feel comfortable and released. Letting all of the muscles just let go, allow your whole body to sink down towards the earth. Allow the breath to be smooth and deep. With each inhalation, inviting more room, more space in your body. And then with each exhalation, release any tension or tightness that remains. And so I invite you to rest here for just as long as your evening allows. And then when you are ready to move up out of savasana, just take a moment to once again notice your physical body. Open your eyes slowly. Take a look around, integrating the inner experience of yoga with the outer experience of your daily life. Namaste.